What up, people? Pushball Black here with Pushball Black Sports. Real quick playoff predictions as I'm looking at the bracket. Um, Houston got this in 5 against Minnesota. I didn't expect Minnesota to sneak in the playoffs like they did, but Jimmy Butler got hurt toward the end of the season, so I figured they would. I thought they were going to go 5th. They ended up sneaking the playoffs. Houston has more firepower than they do. It really depends on Minnesota's defense, and quite honestly, Minnesota's defense has been really sketchy, which has been surprising with the additions that they had, and Tom Thibodeau being the defensive mastermind that he is. They still don't seem very interested, so Houston got this in 5. I do think Minnesota will get one win in the series, but man, I didn't think Houston was going to be that good, but they figured Chris Paul and James Harden figured it out, and their firepower is nuts. The 4 and 5 matchup in the West, OKC and Utah. I think that'll end up being like a 7-game series, and I'm gonna give the slight edge to OKC just because of the veterans. There have been times where OKC has been really, really, really bad, and there have been times that they've been really, really awesome. And I think that the veteran presence will work. But I wouldn't be surprised if Utah upset them because I don't know what OKC team is going to show up. And not Philly. I'm gonna get to them in a second. Portland and the Pelicans. Portland got this in probably 5 or 6. I don't trust the Pelicans at all. Golden State Warriors and San Antonio Spurs. That's interesting because Steph's out and they haven't really been playing consistent when Steph's out. It'll be interesting how, because we've seen KD in the playoffs play better. Because when they go half court, KD gets the ball and does what he does. That's how they beat Cleveland last year in the finals. So Steph's not going to be able to play this series at all. They're targeting his return for the second round. So it depends. It depends how San Antonio is going to defend them and what Golden State's going to do. But I do think Golden State's going to end up winning this in 6. And over in the East, Toronto in 5. I don't know what Washington team is going to show up. There are moments during the season that they're really good. John Wall gets hurt. There are moments in the season that they're really good with John Wall being hurt. John Wall's back now. Toronto's better. I don't know if Toronto is going to be better enough to get to the finals because they seem to find ways to lose and figure out ways to lose in the playoffs, even though they have really good seasons, really good regular seasons. Toronto, their style is better. It's not 2-man isolation. They shoot threes now. Their bench is crazy. Their bench has always killed the Bulls this season, so their bench is nuts. They have a good rotation. So I think Toronto got this in maybe 5. Because I don't like predicting sweeps because there's always a weird playoff game for the most part. And there's really no dominant, player versus a matchup to where it's like, okay, the team is really bad and there's a dominant player. So they're going to get this in 5. The most intriguing series is Cleveland and Indiana. Just because Cleveland with the roster changes, which I completely agree with, and their athleticism and with LeBron James versus Indiana. And I did not think Indiana was going to be as good as they are. Victor Oladipo is playing inspired basketball, and they have a really good bench. Sabonis, and I always like Sabonis. Sabonis is playing good off the bench. That team is really exciting to watch. Cleveland is really exciting to watch now because they're Jordan Clarkson is good with them. So I still think Cleveland's going to end up winning because LeBron James is a beast. But that's going to be an intriguing series. This is going to be a real intriguing series. The next intriguing series to me is Philly and Miami, just because I didn't expect Philly. One, I didn't expect Philly to be as healthy as they were. And two, I didn't expect Ben Simmons to go. I thought he was going to be good, but I didn't expect Ben Simmons and Embiid to be as dominant as they were. So I figured, I thought they were going to make the playoffs, but I didn't think they were going to be third. And then with Miami, I thought they were going to make the playoffs. I thought they were going to get the 7th or 8th seed. I didn't think they were going to get 6th. D-Wade's back and seemingly happy. So that's going to be intriguing. And but I don't know. That might be another upset too, because this is Cleveland's first time in the playoffs. So even though and Miami can run too. So I'm gonna give the edge to not Cleveland. I'm gonna give the edge to Philly just because they're more athletic than Miami, not by much, but they are. But that might be one of those situations where Miami pulls out the upset just because they do have some veterans that's been in the playoffs before, but they're young too. But I don't know. And the one where it'll probably be a sweep, but again, I don't like predicting sweeps, is Boston and Milwaukee. I love the Bucks, man. And every year it's disappointing because every year you look at them on paper and it's like, okay, they're going to finish. On paper, they should be a top 3 team in the East, period. And then every year they drop down to 5th or 6th or whatever. And then and this year it was like, if the bottom of the East wasn't so bad, and quite honestly, if Detroit didn't trade all they traded to get Blake Griffin, Detroit may be in this conversation. But the bottom of the East was so bad. All the people that were out of the playoffs were out of the playoffs. So you kind of knew who was going to be there early. And I don't know, man. Like, I love the Bucks, but Milwaukee finds a way not to be as good as they should be. And even with Kyrie hurt, and even with the injuries that Boston has, I don't know. I don't think Giannis is going to pull an upset in this series. I think it'll probably end up going 6. So, anyway, that's my prediction vid. Something real quick that I wanted to put out before everything started. Anyway, I will holler at y'all later. Push Wild Black out.